If you've had a hunger for an old school brand of co-op zombie shooter, Saber Interactive's take is doing a lot to make the act of gunning down hordes of enemies fun again.
Go on back to hell.
Ever since the advent of first-person shooters, there's also been first-person shooters that sole purpose is to let you repeatedly gun down wave after wave of flesh-eating zombie hordes. For whatever reason, it's a cathartic mixture that never ceases to be fun, which, when doing so alongside friends, is only amped up further to 11 thanks to the make-or-break nature and natural freneticism that comes from trying to survive as a team. Left 4 Dead did it, Call of Duty has continued to do it, and now I'm convinced it's the time of a newcomer to bottle this genre's unique brand of gore-fueled magic, and its name is John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Having now played 3 levels across 2 hours of a recent preview build, I can comfortably say that this is the most fun I've had with a zombie shooter in years, at least since the days that Valve's undead multiplayer classic reigned supreme.
When we work together, we can destroy any gross-ass thing.
Part of what makes this relatively simple and largely familiar setup work so well in Toxic Commando is the game's overall carefree vibe and campy B-movie tone. Casting you and up to 3 friends as the titular squad charged with putting an end to a giant sludge god forever transforming people into zombies and monsters in order to remedy their own infection, you do so through a careful balance of plundering resources, taking on optional challenges throughout the map, and gaining bigger and better methods of keeping the never-ending gloopy enemy forces at bay. Of course, this last element is a trick that developer Saber Interactive knows a thing or two about already, having previously portrayed hundreds of foes on screen in both World War Z and more recently Warhammer Space Marine 2. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a lot less elegant than either of those 2 games by design, but the appeal here is much the same in that let's just go wild sort of way. The first mission I played in my preview was simply titled The Drop and was a great introduction to this mindset, serving as a short but sweet tutorial that taught me all the slaughter related basics. After being ambushed in an underground tunnel by the sludge god's overwhelming forces, me and the team were forced to fix our vehicle, drive it into an elevator, activate the necessary breaker circuit before making one final stand against the hordes by activating traps, investing in better firearms, and good old-fashioned bullet spraying. This might sound rather standard as far as team-based zombie shooters go, but core to it all is the promising flexibility found in Toxic Commando's 4 classes, the unique objectives present on each map, and just how key vehicles are to the whole affair. Rather than simply sprint from one side of the map to the other to enter a safe room, for instance, Saber Interactive has done an excellent job encouraging you to engage in side tasks that won't have you rushing from beginning to end in a blitz. Most of the time, this involves taking a detour to find precious spare parts needed to power the traps that are essential to completing each map's climactic final set piece. That said, when it also comes to finding better gear, health, and resources that let you upgrade and customize your preferred weapons back at base in between rounds, Toxic Commando makes it so it's always worth venturing off the beaten track. Speaking of which, as mentioned, vehicles serve as one of the biggest differences between Toxic Commando and most zombie shooters that have come before it. Because while you might start off in just a run-of-the-mill car or pickup truck, all-terrain vehicles like the HMV Maverick are essential to completing your goals. This is mostly because it comes packed with a wench useful for tearing off boots of cars, key areas, and pulling you out from some particularly deep mud. Just as much as World War Z and Space Marine 2 are an influence on Toxic Commando then, so is Saber Interactive's own Mud Runner and Expedition games, albeit in a fashion that's far less restrictive. As if specialist zombie types such as the explosive nuker or projectile throwing stalker didn't keep the pressure on, the game also makes it so you must battle your environment too in this way. It's admittedly a lot of elements working against you, hence why it's so important to work together as a consistent team of 4. As for the classes, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to really dive into the skill trees of each, but having said that, the starting skills already do a lot to separate all team members from one another. I spent most of my time in the preview build playing as the Strike, a damage-focused class that can cast out giant balls of electricity to help give the entire group some space when needed. The Medic and Defender then work pretty much as expected, dispatching health and shield bubbles as necessary in lovely defensive fashion. The Operator, meanwhile, adds an appreciated amount of spice, since in addition to being a support class, it also has the ability to Commander flying drone, which if used correctly, does well to zap and blast enemies from afar. Leveling each class up appears to happen at a pretty decent rate too, from what I could tell, and the skill tree's sprawling nature is already giving me confidence that it'll keep players busy for a long old while, especially given that Toxic Commando features multiple difficulty levels with multiple rewards to claim. If there's one criticism I have of Toxic Commando following my few hours playing it so far, it's the complete absence of a slide function. You can run, crouch, jump and clamber just fine, but there were plenty of instances where the ability to slide through and over the guts of my enemies would have been appreciated in order to exit a few close scrapes. This method of movement has swiftly become a staple of most other FPS games in recent years, so it's odd that Saber Interactive hasn't added it here. Other than this slight gripe though, I'm eager to see the ways that all the game's maps continue to evolve and shape as objectives grow to become more ambitious. A PvE game of this nature lives or dies on its ability to keep the community engaged after all, so here's hoping that Saber Interactive can provide it with a similar treatment to what it did with Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Yo, Lady Badass! They're all double dead.
Just when I thought I'd seen and done it all in zombie shooters, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando's B-movie attitude, interesting objective design, and tight gunplay seem to be coming together nicely to generate something totally new. Yes, it looks towards the past for inspiration. However, by mixing this in with the spirit of the titular director's best 80s movies, Toxic Commando has all the makings of my next co-op shooter obsession. It seems the decision to delay it out of its originally planned 2024 release window is so far paying dividends. As such, I can't wait to slay and spray alongside friends while battling the mouldy hordes when John Carpenter's Toxic Commando releases on PC and consoles on March 12, 2026. Hoorah! So there you have it guys, in terms of my early preview thoughts after playing John Carpenter's Toxic Commando for roughly 2 hours across 3 of its most bombastic levels. Are you excited about this one? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And then, when you've done that, why not leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to the All Out Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.